Good afternoon, everybody. This is Stacey Cochran on Saturday, January 27th, 2007, coming to you from my house here in beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina. So this past week has been a really incredible week. We had a bookstore event over in Pittsburgh, North Carolina last Saturday. Basically, it was a panel discussion. I moderated the discussion. We had a really extraordinary turnout of over 100 people who came to the event. And basically in 1 week my life has kind of changed dramatically. I've been getting lots of emails every day, and I, building on the momentum, immediately went out and called a couple of other bookstores in the state of North Carolina and began booking other events. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what has been working as of late, so that you guys, who a lot of times the people who are viewing these videos on StaceyCochran.com or at YouTube or Google Video are a lot of writers yourselves. So what have I been doing that's worked here of late? Well, the big thing, of course, is first having a book. You got to have some sort of book that you can hang your hat on, that you can sell at a bookstore. And so through Lulu, I've been able to get a book published and in print and through distribution channels. If you don't know what Lulu is, you might check out lulu.com, which is spelled LULU.com, for all the information there that can get your book published. For years I've been trying to get an agent and trying to go the traditional route, and as yet that hasn't panned out. I'm positive and optimistic that if I keep packing houses the way that we did in McIntyre's, and I keep writing book after book after book, eventually I'll build enough of a readership and we will break through to the traditional publishers. But Lulu is a good place to start. There's no pressure. It's free to begin with. The only thing that costs money is if you want to get into the distribution channels. So the first thing you want to do, my first big piece of advice for any writers who are watching this video, is to get a book published. Some way, somehow, get a book published. Because once you do that, then you can set up events at bookstores or meetups. And that's how you begin to navigate this publishing business. There are people who probably have much better advice than me, who have been around the business a lot longer than I have, who could give you other advice. I'm just doing the best that I can with the knowledge that I've acquired over the past 5 to 10 years in this business. So the thing that has happened recently, we had the bookstore event on Saturday, and I videotaped it, and by videotaping the event at the bookstore, I was then able to use that digital video to show other bookstores that, hey, we can actually pack a house, we can pack a bookstore. And that video was very instrumental in setting up 3 bookstore events this week. I have 2 firm dates. One is going to be at a bookstore over in Waynesville, North Carolina, on April 7th. That's a Saturday, April 7th, 2007. Another one is going to be at a bookstore in Wilmington on Saturday, May 5th. And then there's a third bookstore that we're working out the details about the date. Should have that shored up for certain by hopefully Monday. So the video of the event helped, having the book to begin with, and then a really key thing that got that very first bookstore event was I went to the store and I sold it to the manager as a how to get published event. I said, if we do an event with a panel discussion titled how to get published, I bet we'll draw a pretty good audience, because a lot of the customers who come into your store are writers themselves, and they want to discuss these things, and they want to know how to get published, and they want to know how to get into bookstores. And so we took that title, How to Get Published, made it the headlining title, and then did some good old-fashioned PR work by sending out press releases, by advertising it on the bookstore's website, by getting classified ads in local newspapers, and by getting the word out any way that we could, and that's what drew the crowd. So the title of the event, How to Get Published, was effective. Having it be a panel with 3 or 4 other authors, and I was moderating it, asking questions, keeping it on track, I think that helped. And then a lot of the good PR that came about, that we used to get the word out about it, was very effective too. But then following up is the next step. And by doing the video and getting good video feed of what we did last weekend, I've been able to use that to contact other bookstores to set up more bookstore events and keep this momentum rolling. One other thing we did at the bookstore event that was effective, we did a drawing at the very end, and I passed around little slips of paper, and anybody who wanted to write their email address on the slip of paper, I encouraged them to do that, and then we did some giveaways. That enabled me to have contact with the audience. I mean, we had this huge audience of over 100 people who showed up at this thing, and out of that I got, I think, 64 folks who volunteered their email addresses that I can now communicate with effectively, and the key is to do that in a way that isn't spam, to only let them know about things that they would be interested in knowing about, other events that we're doing. So that's another thing, to do a drawing and try to get everybody's email address. It seems like that's about it. I just wanted to give a little bit of an update about what's been going on and talk about some of the things that have been working well, and hopefully anybody listening to this and watching this video will find this information helpful. This is Stacey Cochran, and it is Saturday, January 27th, 2007. Wishing everybody out there the very best. Thanks for listening.